Welcome back to another episode of the recap right here on AFTERBUZZ TV. We're talking about season 1, episode 9, Black and Blue. Oh, it was such a good episode. We have all of this and more right here on AFTERBUZZ TV.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
I've seen days, but the most is the same. Sun is shining.
You guys have learned a few more words.
You remember the Bankhead Bounce? Did they remember that movie? Like back in the day? Welcome back to another episode. You know we love the theme song of Underground. We're talking about season 1, episode 9. We've got one more episode left. This episode, crazy as I don't know what, guys. What's going on? You doing the hashtag?
We're trying to make sure that everybody knows we're going live right now.
We're going live. If you didn't know, we're going live. My mic's out. My mic's out.
We're coming with the tweet, you guys. So like, make sure you like it and retweet it.
Yes. Make sure you guys use the hashtag. Hashtag Underground WGN. Lena's gonna be checking Twitter right now to see all of your comments. We might just shout you out. I'm Megan Thomas at MexScoop on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Periscope, Snapchat, wherever. Find me because I want to talk to you.
I am Gary Thomas, and of course on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, everything. I am Gary Thomas, and of course I am GaryThomas.com. I'm back blogging, y'all. Check me out.
Shameless public. I'm Lina Green at just Lina Green on Twitter, Facebook, everything, Instagram. I love Instagram. And what is that one? Snapchat me.
I'm Jamie Banks, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at JamieBanks_.
Okay, everybody, your one word.
Wow.
Did you say wow?
Like
wow?
Flavor Flav. Wow.
Crazy.
Devastating.
Deadly. Everybody died this episode. So many deaths.
He's like killing. He's like, this person's gonna die.
Yeah,
they die.
Man, I told y'all. Y'all be shutting my little predictions down.
You're just so wise.
We
on
don't
this
want
show.
you to predict.
I told y'all me and Misha like this. I got this guy.
All right, let's get into this episode. So, of course, it opens up with Rosalee riding in the back of the wagon, and she is just staring up at the sky. The feeling that it must be to now get taken back to captivity was like, you could see that she was now a different person. Like, Sweet little Rosalee was gone, not because of what she had to endure while she was running, but the fact that she was now about to go back to her captivity made it so worse. Like, I just watched it and I was like, oh my gosh, I could feel it.
You felt her angst. Like,
But it's always something like Journey plays the part well in the sense that it's always something behind her eyes that you cannot predict about her. So it's like, what is her mind thinking about right now? Like, it just made me curious. So, like, what is she thinking? Like, she thinking about her next move? Is she just sad? Like, it's so many things that's like so many layers to her to me.
it's funny that you said it does feel like she's always thinking about her next move, and she is, as we see in this episode. She's always thinking about what's next for her. So
Yeah,
you see
and
that.
it was a really pretty scene. I think it was kind of symbolic, just her looking up at the sky and the trees, and the song's about freedom, and it's like, okay, she's going back and where she's going to be a slave. It was
Right. And so, of course, she gets to the slaughterhouse where they're holding her until they find the other two slaves. And there's a very telling conversation that she has with August. Well, first of all, we see that the dress has to come off. And it was, and that to me was symbolic because they said this is a white woman's dress. She throws it off. She throws it in the fire. And I was looking at that.
Just like,
yes, sister.
Right, she threw it with some ferocity. Like, she was mad. You know what I'm saying? She, one of the slave catchers said something about, she looks like a dog that I have that's about to rip my throat out. It's true. She had some anger. She was fighting back.
That crazed look in her eyes.
Right.
I like how when they took the dress off, she was all sexy and stuff under there. I was like, okay, do
I
it.
thought that was unnecessary.
Jamie kept saying,
I mean, just because
I
she's
need a little
beautiful,
taste of Journey sometimes.
But you don't always have to like make the female characters so sexy all the time.
But I don't think that's really what they wore underneath their clothes. But
it was unnecessary.
Jamie was like,
what do you mean? She was supposed to have a granny bra on.
She's talking about
I mean, she could have. It's fine that I just felt like they were trying to show off how hot she was.
No, but I think that's the problem.
I don't think anybody has an issue with that.
I don't think it was that, but that's that's literally what would happen back in those days.
They would have stripped her naked.
Yeah, they would have stripped her naked and raped her.
True.
The amount of rape that happened during slavery was ridiculous. And so she was covered. She had to wear, the corset that goes underneath the dress. But those weren't meant to be sexy back in the day.
Yeah,
okay, true.
Jamie, you're talking about the part where she's sitting on the ground. There's oil on her chest.
Yeah.
No, she's sweating.
She's sweating.
They
very
didn't put
steamy.
oil on her.
No,
that wasn't steamy.
She's sweating from that fire she started.
Right.
Yeah,
And
okay.
she's sweating,
I
she's
know.
delirious.
Jamie's sitting there unnecessary. I'm like, girl, get it. I was like, get it, Jenny, get it. You looking good?
But she was trying to.
I know.
I just felt like that moment, although you were your sister girl moment right there, I just felt like that was like that pivotal moment where we learned that this is not the same Rosalee.
Right,
Rosalee is no longer the same. We might have to give her a new name.
Right.
She's not the same anymore, after this whole journey.
Rosa Fierce.
She doesn't care. Like, I felt like right at the moment, she didn't care what happened to her. Like, anything could be better than going back to that place.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure. And then to me, just the dress burning was symbolic of her freedom getting taken away from her. You have this dress, beautiful dress, represents freedom, and now it's gone.
It's like, she might be physically captured, but I don't think her mind will ever be the same.
Right.
And this is the first time we've seen her like stand up. Like she's not cowering in the corner. She's like, whatever. Like, come on, come at me.
And she doesn't really have anything to lose at this point. She's already captured.
Right.
There's
nothing but
it's
fight
all
left
bad,
in her.
yeah.
Right. And so then August has a conversation with her as he's tying her up. The guys are trying to, those nasty dudes are trying to they would have pounced on her for sure, but August steps in and says, she's property, you can't touch her, even though I don't think he really felt like that. I think he was just saying that to make sure that these guys knew you cannot touch her. And so he ties her up and he says, your father is, he wants you back or whatever. And so it was really crazy because, we've all assumed this whole entire season that Tom was Rosalee's father. We can just tell the color of her skin, all the stuff that's going on with her mom and him. That's her dad. But he's never said that. No one's ever said that out loud. So for August to be like, your father wants you back, and she's like, wait, did he say it was my father?
You think she knew? Because her response was like, he said, it was kind of like a low. She was like, said, like she knew.
She knows, but I think the acknowledgement is what she misses.
Exactly.
He's never come to her or touched her.
He's never acknowledged her.
Shown her that father-daughter love.
Right. And she said that she said that she was invisible to him. He never saw her. He never made it known, like, you're my daughter, or even treated her like such.
Like, I mean, besides let her be in the house, which was kind of from her mom,
Right.
and asking him to do that. So.
Well, of course, he's been manipulated, so he thinks all of it is him and not Ernestine, of course.
Right. And it's just sickening to me because what August says is like, he shows that he cares because, sometimes the only way he can do that is with money. Guys and it was just so twisted because that's kind of true.
August was not necessarily talking about him, but saying the type of love he shows is the same that he shows Ben.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't have a way of telling Ben he loves him. He can only show him certain things, whatever it's valuable to him.
I thought it was in a context of him saying he can't really show you that love outwardly in front of this is not it's not what is the times, so he's doing it by paying this much money,
which is so messed up.
Well, I thought he was comparing himself.
No, I thought. I mean, when
he could have been too, but I think it was the money aspect of him saying,
Well, I was thinking he's saying that it was blatant to me because of the amount of money put on you, but I'm making a comparison of how I am with Ben versus how he is with you.
Yeah,
You know what
I
I mean?
could see the comparison too. Or maybe just people show their love in different ways.
Right.
So that could be just his way of doing it.
just so messed up. I'm going to buy you back to slavery.
to his home.
Right. Okay. All right. So let's let you guys think. Make sure you use the hashtag UndergroundWGN so we can see all of your comments. Lina is going through them. A faux show. All right. So then Ben is tasked with watching over Rosalee while she sits there in captivity. And this poor little Ben, he just gets the short end of the stick every time. But I really like his character. I really like him.
You like the moral compass him. You like that he's a good person at heart.
Yes.
But I mean,
which I think innately everybody is. It's the environment and how you grow up and the external factors that turn you into an evil person who likes lynching.
Yeah. I think that he's a prime example that some they make comments about how your parents shape you, but you can tell that August didn't raise him.
Right.
He's a completely different person than August.
I think with the wolf, I think he chose a different path from his dad. And I love how they keep bringing up this wolf, because we all have this duality inside of us that we're constantly making these decisions every day. Should we take this path or this path? And it's showing how Ben is taking his own path separate from his father.
Right. And it starts with Rosalee saying to him, I'm not just a name. I'm not just another slave. I'm not just $5,000.
She was like, I like yellow. I like it really bright. I was like, first I was like, where is she going with this? Like, I don't think Ben wants these random facts about you.
She's like, I'm about to die, so let me just tell you some stuff.
Yeah, I love how she set into that scene, though. It's like she sat back. Like, she was like, her eyes watered up, and she's like, I like the color yellow. You know, she's like, I'm more than just
a slave.
Yeah, slave.
I like that she was really like humanizing herself.
Yeah,
but actually, that's like a technique they say. If you're ever kidnapped, you're supposed to kind of like relate to your captors as best as you can. Just like show them you're a person. And so that's kind of what she was doing. But also, obviously, she's a slave. So in this case, they're trying to say we are people too.
Like, you got to see me as a person. And I love how smart. That's just showing how Rosalee is just always thinking like, there's always something behind her. When you think she's gonna do one thing, she does another thing.
I think like her mother, she's able to read. Her character is able to read other people. She knows there's something in them that she can get to. You know.
Right. And so then, of course, as she starts talking more to Ben, he starts, his conscience kicks in, and he's really sad about her being there. He says, I'm sorry. What we didn't realize, what was going on this whole time, is that, Rosalee, the smart girl, she put the devil's snare in her dress when she threw it. Of course, then you've got the fumes.
I told y'all that you would say, no, it's just the smoke. I'm like, she put something in that dress. I'm like, are you sure it's just like the carbon monoxide?
Gary's a writer on the shows.
I'm telling you.
Y'all can find Gary at
Misha, Joe, y'all need me in the idea room for season 2. I got a couple things in the works.
Yeah.
Okay, Gary.
Let me email John Legend. Let me just get straight to
John, call me.
Right. And so, of course, there's a lot of hallucinations that are going on. You've got Rosalee, who sees that she's back at the slave master's house. She's with her dad, and the overseer is there. You see oh gosh,
like blood
with her
you jumped ahead a little bit.
Sorry, that just like stood out to me.
I know, but we had to get to the point before that how she got loose because Ben in the letter.
Oh yes.
Okay,
let's talk about that.
So the guy, the patty cat guy.
Yeah, Jeremiah.
He set that up.
Yeah. He did because he wants this because Rosalee's a prize. She's $5,000. She's easy. Look, we can just take her and leave. We ain't got to worry about them other 2 slaves. Let's just take her and go. And so for him, he's like, you guys are already rich. You don't need this money. Oh, your son can read? Let me give him this letter.
He knew that if he figured out that the boy didn't know and that he'd be pinning them against each other, he's going to have his way to Rosalee.
Right. And
it's
that
pretty
was
smart. Evil and smart.
We should have known he wasn't going to give him no book for real.
He kept, the way he kept looking at the money, he was jealous. Like, if I had that much money, I wouldn't be here chasing no slaves.
He said,
right. Is that how you said it?
That's how he said it. Anyway, that's probably why he did it, though.
But yeah, for sure, that's exactly why he did it. And so now you've got Ben who's mad. He cuts Rosalee loose. Rosalee's hallucinating.
I love that Ben actually did that because we kind of could see it coming just because we knew he was a good guy. But the fact
like he's gonna kill us.
No, I could tell. I don't know. I could tell that he wasn't.
I mean,
we all knew.
Yeah.
So like we all knew.
Rosalee ain't know.
But I like how he really doesn't have an incentive to catch them anymore because money was really never that important to him.
But why do you guys think August is still even doing this?
Well, because he's a man of his word. He told the guy from the Patty Cannon gang, Jeremiah, that he would help him catch this slave. So now he's got.
But I mean,
so this is it for him. This is like
what was his purpose to keep Rosalee? Like, what is the extra $5,000 about to do for you?
Maybe he's doing that so to protect Rosalee because he knows if he relinquished her to them, they're gonna.
Why does he care? I'm just trying to figure out like
he's not a bad person. I think we
August always has these strange motives. Like you never know. Like,
but I think from the very beginning, it's been very clear. He's not a bad person. He's he's had to do what he's doing because of his circumstances, and he feels like this is the best way.
The jury is still out on that one.
What you mean?
What did my mama tell Ben? We got to figure out what her answer was first. When he asked was either good or bad.
She never answered it.
Okay, so the jury.
But I think that's the whole thing about this. Like you can see that he's good, but he's had to do some bad things.
I'm just saying, you guys have always defended August, and I mean,
do you not see? How do you not see that, Gary.
Because if it were me, I would drop this whole shenanigan. Like, okay, let me get her out of here then. You could at least
can't
left
do
it.
that.
He already told the other guys that he would help them. He's a man of
I'm
his
rich.
word.
I got 5 G's off her.
Because
but,
then no,
I got a child to worry
there's-
about.
But
This
that's
is who
not what
my
I'm saying.
word is
But
to.
then they would have killed August and that little boy. So to protect he's outnumbered. So to protect his son and himself, he's like, okay, I gotta help them because if I leave, they're going to kill us and they're gonna take Rosalee
They catch
anyway.
us.
They're gonna catch us.
You
Yeah, little boy, he can't run that fast.
Man, August is way more dangerous than all of them.
He be acting like it.
Yeah, but he's outnumbered. But I think
right.
you could really tell how scared he was when he was telling Jeremiah. He's like, we're gonna go home as soon as we get this done. It's kind of like, don't mess with us. We're gonna get in and get out.
Yeah.
Right. For sure. So then the hallucinations happened. I want to talk about this. I was just like, it was just, to me, it was so crazy because first of all, you see August. Let's talk about August hallucinations.
His shirt came off.
I know. I was like, where'd his shirt go? Shirt came off.
Me and Jamie was like, how that happen?
Where did that come from?
That's such an interesting thing that they used Miss Ernestine for his hallucination. Like, that's really unique. Like,
Who else would they have used, though?
That girl that, the party girl from the boat,
like,
maybe?
They could have used it.
It's weird. He's gone. One
It just makes you think, does he have something, what was his thing with Miss Ernestine? Did we miss something when they had the conversation before, like in some of their connection?
I think her character is a character that all the characters can see, that they can see themselves with, or that is very, what's the word when someone's desirable?
Yeah, she's desirable. She's smart. She's beautiful.
And she's something that they really can't touch. Like, he can't really have her.
Well, I just wonder if maybe when we saw them, talk before he went on the hunt, did we miss something in their connection or the conversation that may have led us to it? Because they do a lot of foreshadowing,
Maybe.
Well, I mean, I think it was a little dangerous. I don't know in what aspect, because you remember he was like, he chopped the thing for her, like, but it was
That
kind
was
of
a pig,
scary.
so he was back with a lot of dead
Maybe
flesh
that's
and
what it
pig.
was.
Maybe that was the connection.
Right.
That when he met her, they were slicing up that animal.
But I just feel like the time frame they used, like the period or the piece they used for Rosalee was such a more personal thing. What is it about Ernestine? Like,
I get what you're saying.
I know it has to be.
Wife. It
Right, it has to be something of why they chose her, because they're
seen-
so unique in the writing of the show. It just has to be a reason.
I think maybe it's just because it was a slaughterhouse, and that just reminded him of being back there. And of course, we know Rosalee as a sexual character because of what she's had to do with her master.
Ernestine.
Ernestine. My bad.
I'm like,
Ernestine.
Whoa.
Ernestine.
That's another show.
She's the only one that we've seen like get busy. And not because she wanted to, because she had to. So I think that was kind of the appeal with this as well. And then the stuff that she says is so true. Like, you brought your son out here, our kids, see us do things, and now they turn into us. And it was just a really great flashback or hallucination, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Or was it that, I don't know, it's just like, because her hallucination told him that it's the devil's snare. So maybe it's like all his thoughts are just coming out through her.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think he's realizing how smart Rosalee is, and
how cunning she is.
Yeah, she's cunning.
And relating her to Ernestine, maybe.
Right.
Also, I thought it was so cool that Ernestine was like so powerful and manipulative, even in the vision. Like, it's not even really her, but like just the vision of her is like this manipulative woman.
It's crazy you said that, because Amira Van did Instagram something. She's like, you haven't seen the last Miss Ernestine, but I was just like, I was waiting on Miss Ernestine to blow up after all that's gone on, coming out the box. I'm like, oh, that's what Amira Van is telling us, she gonna blow up.
Yeah.
But I guess this was it, her seeing this different side.
Right, for sure. And then so in that, I guess we learned a few things that's how Rosalee got them to get a little crazy, was the devil's snare. We also learned that there's a little sexual tension there. Of course, I was like, wait a minute. We see that Noah's creeping up on him, and like, I was like, he's over here about to getting a little freaky. This is weird.
His shirt came off and
right, a little freaky. Like, okay. And so we see a few different things there. And then if we switch over to what's happening with Rosalee, of course, she's now free, but she's also hallucinating, and she sees herself with her dad, and she sees herself back there. But in her vision, she's very strong. She's like, I don't care. You're not taking me back. Even though she sees the scars,
which is really graphic.
Again. Yeah,
I think that was great when the slave
overseer
came, and she was like, I didn't mean to hurt you. I meant to kill you.
Right.
And this won't be the last time I try. Like, you know.
I felt like when she was talking to her father, it was like all her emotions ever in her whole life just coming out. Like maybe, I'm sure she never told him all those things before. So it's kind of like a release almost, or confronting her own emotions.
And then when she fights her father, she actually ends up killing Ben.
Which I did not see coming. I literally cried.
I don't want him to die. I hope he lives through it. He's a tough boy. That was like right through the sternum.
He can survive.
Could have made that, huh? No. With his rusty knife. Yes.
It was like right here. Like I feel like you could survive.
But I think he dies, and that's gonna. I loved his character because it was just this like innocent, like a flower in the middle of thorns and death.
And if August was teetering on the good wolf or bad wolf, he's now completely bad wolf.
Oh man,
definitely
bad wolf now.
But I told y'all, like, that little boy gotta go.
Oh, no. I actually thought it was going to be Noah who was stabbed. Like, I could tell she stabbed someone, and I thought it was Noah running in there.
Oh, yeah, that is true.
I thought when she was getting cut, her hands, I thought one of the slave catchers were, like, messing with her, and she accidentally, and she was like,
I thought that too.
Stabbed him.
But we knew it wasn't Noah because Noah was so tussling with August.
Right.
Yeah.
And so
we'll talk about that in a sec. We'll talk about Noah. And then of course that we see that that Ben's dead, that we know of. He calls his paw. He comes over there and he's just hugging him.
It hurts. It hurts, paw. It's supposed to hurt like this, paw.
So country. But I did want to say this. I forgot to add this. So, of course, when August's shirt is off and Ernestine is, like, rubbing his chest, shout out to you, Chris Maloney, because I was just like, hey.
I was just watching NCIS earlier. I was like, he's
a pretty fit man. I saw that from some...
Very nice.
I seen that on Facebook. Like, that show pops up on my Facebook. I was like, I thought he was old as dirt, really.
No, I know. Who knew he had all of that under that shirt?
No. I watch it every time I'm working out, and I'm like, oh, and then I'm like, oh, he was looking good.
Nice.
He was
looking nice.
Looking good in this old age. Looking good right now.
Right. Okay, so then also we see that the last episode that Noah and Cato got separated when they took Rosalee. So they've been on the hunt to find where she is and to get her back. At the very beginning, we see that they are fighting these two white guys. They take their buggy, the horse and their carriage. And I just love how they're like renegades. They're like fighting people. They're like beating people. They don't care. Because before they were very careful. Like, you don't hurt them. You don't beat white people up. You know what I'm saying? Like, 'cause that's a lynching.
They didn't beat you up.
Like, now they're like, we don't care. We're going to kill you or hurt you. We're going to take your stuff.
Because the finish line is close. So when you see that finish line, you don't do anything.
Exactly.
Anything.
And the carriages are full of money. I'm like, who are these people?
No.
Yeah, were they bank robbers?
Y'all can't say that y'all would have put 2 stacks in your pocket at least.
I would have.
I would have just like taken 2. Yeah.
No, I've seen so many things where people die over trying to be greedy. I'm trying to live.
2 stacks in the left pocket.
But it's also kind of like, what is money when you're a slave?
Yep.
What are you going to do? You're a wanted slave. It does not matter how much money you have.
I guess you could like use it to barter yourself.
No, because what they'll do is they'll be like, okay, sure, they'll take your money and then they'll also
true.
If I do make it to freedom, can I have a couple coins to rub together?
I'm like, who cares? They like, because the concept of money is different when you're a slave. When it's like you don't work for wages. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You don't have money. You don't know the value of it because you never get it.
Yeah.
And if you had it, what would you do with it? Like, look at Sam. Sam had that money.
Collecting it.
Couldn't buy himself freedom.
That's sad.
What can you do with it?
Don't talk about Sam.
I know, rest in peace, Sam.
Rest in peace.
Pour one out for you. Okay, so then they also get in a fight with each other.
Of course.
Which I was like, yes. I kind of wanted Cato to win, not gonna lie.
Why?
I think you just Alana Miller. I think she just
I did because at this point, I don't know. I just wanted something to be a little bit different. And of course, we know that Noah is like the guy that we want to win in this whole situation. So it's kind of like, I wanted to.
But I like that they could punch for punch.
I really didn't give a good goddamn point. I don't really like either of them.
We don't want to hear you.
You're a hater.
I was just like,
why do you watch this show?
I love the show.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
We don't agree with him, okay? We don't agree with his views.
We're like, no, we love Cato.
It says at the end, the views of the host only, not of the AfterBuzz TV. I can have valid opinion. It's okay to be different.
Calm him down. Sedate him.
Right.
Sedate him.
And so Noah said something that's very, I guess, vulnerable to Cato. He says, I see you, and I can tell that there's someone that you care about that you're waiting for because you always rub this bonnet. And we've seen him with it before, but we never really knew what it was. So now we know it's a bonnet. He holds it because it's a memory of someone. And when he's with Noah and they're, find the slaughterhouse or trying to figure out how they're going to get in, he says, you know what, you're right. It is my daughter's bonnet. I had a wife and they were sold. And I was just like, oh.
He said he chased that carriage for days and they dragged him back.
And that's where you see it. And we get so much I see what we're talking about now. We get so much of the backstory of Cato. We still don't really know a lot about Noah and his backstory.
Do you think that's going to be something very big in season 2?
I think season 2 is going to be flushed out.
If he survives.
That would be crazy. Yeah, he'll make it.
He has to.
But that is crazy.
And that's what I'm saying. For him to be, before the show started, so many reviews and, commercials of him be the main character, we've been invested in so many other people.
Mm-hmm. Well, you see that on shows when you have like multi-characters it's not just a leading show, they have multi-characters so that when characters do die, they flush out other people's stories. So you see and that.
What you like, for example, you see that in Orange is the New Black. We get to see each person's character, but we still learn the main girl's story. We learn stuff about her.
Yeah, we're learning about Rosalee. Yeah. I think it'll be flushed out.
We haven't really learned enough about Noah.
No, we will. I think that's going to either be for the next episode, probably the next season, though.
Yeah. I think more so next season.
Because right now, I don't think we need to know too. All we need to know is that he is a guy who is very hopeful.
Oh,
he's strong. He cares about other people. Like, we've seen that about him, so I think we'll see where it comes from later. But right now, I don't think that's important.
Yeah, he's the driving force, the leader, and sometimes they don't flush out everything about the leader.
I don't really think he's a driving force. I think there's a driving force for a different driving force for each viewer, because you get invested in other people. Yeah. So the story is driven.
We know you love Ernestine.
For me, it's Ernestine. For you, it might be somebody else. I think that they've given us a different person for each viewer to kind of invest themselves in.
Yeah.
Right. Good point. Right. And so we get a better understanding of why Cato is so cold. And so, when you lose you chased them, you ran away, you chased them, you got dragged back, and you ran away again. Like, that
shows about Cato's character. The fact that he ran away, first of all,
when his wife and his daughter taken.
Noah would have stayed and fight until he died.
Right.
Like, Cato ran, and then after the fact, ran after the carriage. And for some reason that stuck out to me. I was like, you left your family, and I see it hurts you now, but why'd you run? You stay, you fight.
Mm-hmm.
That's what.
He said he chased the carriage for days, and they dragged him back.
Right.
But initially, he said he ran off when they were coming to capture his family.
Oh.
Or they were sold, right?
Yeah. So he said there was a change in that they stopped selling, I guess, cotton as much and started doing sugar. So they had to sell people because they're like, oh, it's probably a different process to harvest that.
It needs less people to do sugar.
Maybe,
That's
or maybe you need stronger people.
To the sugar crowds.
It's a different. Either you needed a different type of slave, or you needed less slaves, probably.
Let's look that up.
Sugar cane.
Yeah, let us know, guys.
I wonder what happened to the sugar cane.
It's interesting because you would think that this story would make Cato like a lot softer, maybe, but instead it makes him like really hard, cold, and just wants to survive rather than trying to save. At least that's what he wants us
to think.
True.
And that's what he says. He was like, all you need to survive is blood pumped through your heart. You don't
that
need anything
surprised
else.
me. I thought he was gonna say, "I'm motivated to find my family." But
no, I think he is. I think maybe he, deep down inside, but he doesn't want to say that.
Not to
Noah, because that's something that's very, he's probably still has hope in the back of his mind. I'm gonna see my wife and my daughter one day. Who wants to just forget them? He obviously doesn't want to forget them because he keeps a memory of them.
And maybe he really, really wants to survive because of them, so we can eventually see them again.
But do you think he really thinks he's going to see his family? It sounds like from his speech that he was saying, goodbye.
We've known him to try to fool people and make them think something else about him, that he has a harder exterior, and they don't want to see the soft side.
Yeah, because it looked like he about to cry for a second when he was telling that story, because I was like, oh, he about to cry. He's about to just be like, oh.
He about to break up.
That wouldn't be his kid.
And they had to pull it back together. That's why he was like, all you need is your heart.
All you need is that. He said,
all you need is that. And so, of course, they come up with this elaborate distraction to take the cart through, throw the money, making it rain dollars.
That was so funny.
Right? It's like, woo! And the fact that the slave catchers are like, yes, money.
And they're like, that's a slave.
Only two of them go. Like,
That's
come on,
very
guys.
distracting. It would work for me.
And I was
But I
happy.
mean, August always knows that's a distraction.
Right.
It's so annoying sometimes. Like, that's a distraction.
I know everything. Why
Can
does
he
have
be
to know
fooled
everything?
one time?
Right.
Guys, let's go get that money. And then, just go out there and make it rain. It would be funny if they did like Make It Rain song.
They're just gonna use that song. Make it rain.
Because they have such modern music, and it'd be funny if they was like,
It's modern within reason, man. Within
I would have
reason.
cried. I would have been like, no, they didn't. Y'all need to stop.
Oh my gosh. And so then, of course, as Cato is running off and the two guys are chasing him and he shoots them, I was like, yes, you killed two dudes. Yes. We also see that.
I was surprised the kid was a killer.
Calm down.
I thought he was going to be like, he was going to pop his, I thought he was going to do something. Like,
Pop his collar.
pop his 1800s collar. I don't know what he was going to do. I thought he was going to do something that was like, yeah.
It's crazy that they was this close and neither one of them got a shot off. He like shot.
Yeah, he did
and
a double
stopped
shot.
and looked at the other one and shot him. I was like, come on.
Where else was he going to be, guys?
Jeremiah makes a good point. Like, they're not really long thinkers. They're like in the moment. Like, it's just right here. Let's go open the door instead of let's go around to the back. Let's surround it. Like, let's make a plan out of this.
Because clearly the amount of money that was laying on the ground is probably not as much as they would have gotten for capturing these slaves. $5,000.
It looked like a lot of money.
No, that probably was a lot, but we don't know. Those could have been like ones. Those could have been singles. We don't know. But instead of them going, hey, the money's going to be right here when we get back. Who else is out here? Nobody but us, you guys.
It's barely the town folks here.
Let's just all go and get these slaves, bring them back, and we can get the money too.
Clearly, they're not very smart.
So we can get the more money.
Right.
Clearly, they're not smart.
They're not that smart. They're not that smart. So while he's doing that, Noah, of course, goes inside the slaughterhouse and he looks at the blood. And I knew as soon as he looked at the blood, I said, he's about to get in it. He's about to get in the blood.
I like how he rides that. He's like, It was so dramatic. Like, okay.
I couldn't watch. It was too gross.
Oh, pig's blood. Oh, it was just nasty. But he'll go through anything to get his Rosalee back.
He loves him some Rosalee.
He does.
The first day he saw with that ribbon.
Right. And then, of course, he fights August. And I was surprised. August won. August won that fight.
Came from nowhere.
I mean, we wanted Noah to win, but August is a trained. Yeah. He's been doing it for a long time. So of course he was gonna whip that tail.
I'm so tired of seeing Noah get his butt whooped.
He's not had food really or water. Like, he's been through so much. We don't know how long they've been out there now. For weeks and months.
When has Noah been on the winning side of any situations in this
He's
show?
free right now. He's winning.
Hater.
He's winning right now.
Like,
he's not a slave
Noah
right
is a
now.
character that has to take one step forward, 2 steps back. 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Like, they make him like, a losing character.
But he never gives up. So you're
exactly.
not a loser.
I would say he's a
up.
perseverer. I'll give him that.
You're a hater.
Like a hater.
How's it feel? How's the hater taste?
Sweet. All right, I already got you. When they tell you stop hating on Noah, they come for you.
So then he, of course, finds, as Rosalee is running away, he finds her. I don't know how he finds her, but they find each other outside. They run, and Cato is there. For a moment, they're like, "He's not coming. We're just gonna have to run." But I was like, "Nah, he's coming back."
I knew he was gonna, it's kind of a moment where you kind of know he's gonna come.
Yeah, you know he was gonna come.
Yeah.
He comes back. He swoops him up, but they do get into a little trouble. When I saw that they pulled the carriage up and the tree was down, they're like, "We got to go on foot." I was like, "No, guys, it's a trap. It's a setup."
Well, I don't think that was a trap. I think
it was for sure a trap.
The tree was just there, right?
No, it was for sure a trap. Because I think we saw that in the very first episode or something. Somebody had
put a tree down.
Yeah, there was something before that had like a tree or some kind of roadblock, or somebody mentioned a roadblock. So that's why I was like, no, it's a trap, guys. So then, of course, when he gets his foot caught in there and he's upside down, we see. I guess did you guys? Who were the people with the arrows? Is that like another group?
I thought it was Indians.
Those are some other slave hunters because they use arrows too.
Made me mad. I was like, you can't be using our people. I'm Indian.
Yeah,
they use arrows too. Remember?
Yeah, for a second I was just like, wait, who are the Indians shooting? It took me a second.
I think the whole gun thing was still relatively new to the era, so they.
No, it wasn't. They had guns in the 1700s during the American Revolution.
Everybody couldn't afford
this
one.
This is 100 years later.
Everybody couldn't afford one.
100 years later, everybody got a gun.
But they can afford a bow and arrow with different arrows.
You can make that easily.
Yeah, maybe they're better at shooting arrows.
Right.
That just made me mad for some reason. You can't be stealing from the Indians.
Gunpowder and bullets is a little bit harder to keep getting.
True, you have to always get it. Yeah.
Something about that angered me. I was like, they're shooting arrows at them and shooting at them with guns. I was like, come on.
Yeah.
We saw them using arrows in several other scenes. When they were
Would you rather die by an arrow or a gun?
Die by a gun.
Well,
So
they knew,
faster.
they were still worried about not hurting Rosalee.
So maybe that's probably why too. Like we know where to shoot you with an arrow and not hurt you.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
we might be able to get her hit and still return her alive.
Right.
The shooter is still alive.
For sure. And then so Cato, of course, they cut him down. Rosalee goes to find the bridge, and we see that there's a moment there because he gets shot with an arrow, and now Noah has to make a life-changing decision.
Oh, I love it.
Do I go with Rosalee? Do I stay here and help him?
And there was nothing this is the same decision Cato made.
Yeah.
And karma is a...
He heard you loud and clear, Cato. This heart is for nothing but beating. Deuces.
Right. And then when he threw down the knife, and then Cato just shakes his head.
No, he smiled, and it was creepy.
I think the smile was kind of like, well, that's what I would do too.
No,
But
Right.
I think it was.
It
was like,
That's
It was
messed up, but I get it.
Now I see you, Noah. But I think it was really Noah kind of thought back, like, what happened to Big Zeke? I know it was you.
yeah.
Nah, I'm leaving you.
I don't think that was in his mind. It was like, what do I do now? I don't even think he thought
couldn't
that far.
carry this man. Like this is a split decision.
Right.
You can't carry this man.
Right.
You gonna die with him or you gonna leave. And that I love seeing that. Noah. That was a moment where we see Noah's character, and it was like he had to think this through. He could either die or go, and it was a hard decision, and I liked it took him a while to go.
No, that wasn't a while.
That was a slow motion.
Like a wow.
But it was only like 2 seconds. 2 seconds.
I'm a survivalist. I was
I thought it was too long too. You just make the decision and go.
It was a long.
But that's what he did. It just seemed like it was slow.
I guess.
Yeah, it was like slow motion.
It seemed like
got
it took him a while.
bullets whizzing and arrows whizzing past your head. It wasn't that long, guys. Come on.
It seemed like a very long moment, and he did really think about it, and then he was like, sorry, brother, but peace. And
Right. And so he leaves, he runs with Rosalee, and they go, and we'll finish at what happens with them. But let's talk about John Hawking.
This was that story was like the flashback and everything was just
I didn't know.
Yeah,
It was confusing at first. I thought that was a flashback from a long time ago.
Right.
But then we realized that was a present day.
Yeah,
flashback.
because if we remember the last couple of episodes, Clyde, who was helping them with the Underground Railroad, got taken back by his slave master, who he had been long gone from. He ran away a long time ago, and his slave master happened to see him and took him. They caught him and took him back to captivity, and so. John has this great idea, like, since the guy who now took him is actually a slave auctioneer, he does this kind of stuff, or he buys and sells slaves, all that good stuff. I'm going to go find him. I'm going to buy some slaves, get to know him, go get Clyde back.
I felt like it was silly. He said his last name was Hawking, so it's like, okay, if you're going to try and be a different last name.
Wasn't it Hawks? His last name
is Hawks, but he said Hawkins. So he should have said, like...
Johnson.
Yeah.
Jones.
Too obvious.
I don't think it mattered. I think he already knew. I think the guy already knew.
I think we just learned that although he tries to make good plans, he doesn't necessarily weigh all the pros and cons.
Exactly.
Y'all wrong. He tried.
He tried. So while all this is going on, and he buys a slave girl for $700, which is way more than anybody else was going to pay.
I love her. She was like, I've never been touched. He was like, what? He let her speak, and she was like, I've never been touched by a man.
And I was like, why didn't the slave auctioneer just say that himself? Why did she have to say that?
I don't know. I think he probably asked her to. I don't know.
No, of course. He told her, like, you need to tell them that
say
you've never
this
been
part,
touched.
right? When I say it. I've never been touched by a man. And I love that. I was like, good for you,
I
honey.
didn't. I was just like, why would you do that to her? You already selling her. She should have just, I would have said it within an hour. I I ain't never been touched.
Like, we don't want too
Like,
much
exactly.
attitude.
I don't think she wanted to die right then and there or get hit right then and there.
But she was so proud. Like, she said that so much proud and gumption.
Because she made it that far in life. And
I ain't never been touched by no
So
man.
sad.
It is sad. That's what I'm saying. It was just so sad to me.
I was like, why did he just say that? That's the only thing that I was
Why would
like.
you make her say that? Come on. Maybe it's like, yeah, she can speak real good. Yeah, look, guys, look.
But it's sad.
I just hate slavery so much. I think like every episode, I hate these people. I hate
Like,
these
sometimes
people.
you just try to find a humor in life, but like that was just a moment. Like, I would have been that slave, and I'd be like, "Why'd you make me say this?" Like, they looking at me like I'm crazy. Like,
Lena, you would have got so many beatings. Trust me, you would have got so many beatings if you was alive back then. Okay, so then while all of this is happening, we remember that Boo is at the Hawks home with Liz. Liz is reading to her. And then Kyle comes back. He says, "Is your husband home?" He's not. Okay,
him a second
smash.
Goodness.
Got a little taste of Liz. You know, you ain't never stopped loving her. And I was like, he's about to rape her. And so, of course, she beats him up. This is a question I had. How did she get him tied up down in that dungeon?
Liz crazy.
Liz is the next level crazy.
Mess with Liz.
She's a little crazy.
When I saw him tied up, I thought it was funny for some reason, just because it was, I mean, the situation isn't funny. It was just like, whoa, and she tied him up. I don't know.
Like, nobody helped you, Liz. You drug him down and you tied him up good.
Drug him down in this little hole.
Right.
Because
Because it's a little hard to get in there.
They should have showed her doing that. Like, this whole, like, little scene of, get your butt down here. You go over here kissing me.
You know, I think that, I was going to say, like, her character is so underestimated because when you read, like, some of the blogs before, when the show started, some people who premiered it, they were like, oh, this boring storyline between these two. And now, like, we get so much of that.
They're so, like, the heroes. Like,
right, for sure. And so then we see that a lot of stuff is going on in the house where Liz is, and then John comes back. We see the story of what happened. So we see that he tried to get Clyde back. He beat the man up so bad. He beat Basil Abbott up really bad because Basil said, "I know who you are. I knew that you're Tom Hawks' brother. You came here. You're an abolitionist. I know it."
He was going to kill him.
Right.
He was whooping
the slave.
that butt.
He was like, "Don't kill him. They're going to blame that on us."
Right.
Chill out.
Wait, so do we ever find out did he take Clyde with him?
I don't think so. I think he
Really?
left. Yeah, he comes back with nobody with him.
I guess we don't I don't think
don't
we
see
see how
it.
it plays
Just
out.
not see
Yeah.
Next episode.
Did he drop Clyde off?
I don't think he took him with him. I mean, that's why Clyde told him not to do anything, because he knows they're going to find him. So he's just like, hey, don't
But
kill him.
why did he like bring the gun back and said it's taken care of? What was he talking about?
I think he got him back. I think he took him back.
Yeah, that is
I
a good
think that's what
question.
I'm saying. I think he did get Clyde. I mean, I'm assuming when he said it's done. Right?
I'm assuming too.
We'll see on the...
We'll see. He said he almost killed the dude. He ain't killed Mr. Abbott, but we'll see what happens coming up next. So then, of course, he's talking to Liz, and she tells him everything that happened between her and Kyle, and he kind of tries to make it seem like she's a hoe. Like, did you catch what he said?
Yeah.
Because he was like, you I guess had sex with
You
him
did something with him before
when
y'all
you were
was
engaged. You did something with me before we got married, and I was like, did you just call your wife a hoe?
And she was like, she took that like, if you would have slapped her, and she was like you, that slap didn't. She was like, did you just say that?
You just called me a whore.
And then Boo is over there in the corner with the gun.
Poor little
was
Boo.
about to take her head off.
Boo had me scared. I was like, "Boo, you need to put that down. You getting bold.
She finally got somebody who cared about her. She's like, he about to hurt you.
I'm picking up a gun and
You're not gonna
shooting.
take. She said that you protect me, I'll protect you.
Boo, bad. She bad.
She's not.
Boo
Boo
a
has
thug.
seen too much in her short little life.
Boo a thug.
She's seen nothing
Boo's
but
so
death.
cute.
Boo is so cute, yes, for sure. And so then we see that John goes down to the basement and or to the hideaway, and he sees, Kyle, and the look on his face, like, I should kill you and
You think he gonna kill him?
burn your testicles right here.
Maybe.
That's what it looked like.
Maybe.
Because how is he going to get out of that situation
There's
if he
no,
doesn't kill
they
him?
can't
No
let
way
him
but
go.
But they're not killers. And even John said that he's
Nobody
like, I
was a
almost
killer at
killed a
first.
man.
When your back is against the wall, you never know who you gonna
He was
be.
gonna kill that man.
He's gonna have to kill. I don't see any other way around it. You can't just let Kyle go. I mean, that's why he knows your secret.
He
He
gonna
knows
untie you, but if you tell somebody,
they're gonna have to kill him.
Liz
There's
gonna
no
have to
other
come
way.
down there and be like, well, if you're quiet.
But how can to be mad at her. She did, and they get in a fight, and she says that to him. She's like, I did this for us. And he's like, no, you did it for this little girl. But isn't that the same thing?
Same thing. That's what I was thinking.
That's the same thing.
I guess she could have prioritized their relationship over Boo's life.
But why? Why was she?
That was the whole point of it.
That was the whole. Yeah. She made that point. She was like, "That's why we did all this."
She's like, "You brought me into this thing. I'm just,
it's your fault. If anything, it's your fault." All right. And so then, at the very end of this, we see that Rosalee and Noah make it to their house.
Yes.
3 out of 7. That ain't bad.
It's not bad.
It's not bad.
Kind of 2.5, but.
What you mean?
The little girl.
You're one of those people who goes to restaurants and says, we have 2.5.
This is a discount.
Do you need half a chair? No, you need a full chair. You need a full chair, don't you? No, so 3 out of 7 is not bad. They all make it there. Remember we talked about this earlier in the season. We said that they all were going to make it to that house.
No, we did not.
We didn't say all. I'm sorry. We all said that we thought that they were going to make it to the Hawks' home.
Yeah, we
did say that. Sorry about that. Let me rephrase. So they're there and they get to see little Boo, and now the look on Liz's face is kind of like,
yeah, she's like, I ain't taking my Boo. I feel like something's gonna happen.
She's like, whoa, you got
take my love from my baby.
You think that look was just
I think
intentional,
they're just like,
or
wow, the making seven
they're all here.
Like,
we almost got our heads blown off by Boo. Like, there's just a lot going on right now.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a lot to take.
That was such a touching moment with Boo and Rosalee. She's like, Boo, Rosalee, and it was like,
but it was just like, wow, I didn't know that they were that close.
Yeah. No, they weren't that close because they live in like Pennsylvania.
No. I mean, where do they live? This episode, I didn't know that they were gonna make it. I didn't know they were that close.
There's only one more left.
Yeah, I was like, dang, they made it. Like,
it's been a couple months. I wish we knew what the timeline was.
I kind of felt like maybe season 2 would go into a little bit more running too. I didn't know they were gonna like make it to their house in this season.
It might be. All right, let us know what you guys think. Use the hashtag I keep doing that. Hashtag Underground WGN. We're gonna get into predictions really fast.
Your AfterBuzz TV prediction.
Jamie, go.
I predict that August is going to come back and really wants to get revenge, and he's going to kill anyone who gets in his way.
Revenge
on Rosalee.
Dang. I predict that I predict that Cato is going to somehow miraculously. I just feel like he's a fighter. He's going to miraculously get there to the house.
Definitely, August is gonna try to put them paws on Rosalee, and I think that we're about to see a new flame in Tom. I think that's just the John. From last episode, we saw the guy. It's gonna be a carryover of him killing or hurting somebody.
Oh yeah, for sure. He has it in him, so we'll see where that goes.
The bad wolf.
I also agree with you, Lena. I do not think Cato is dead, and we're gonna see that in the second season. That Cato is, it's gonna seem like everything's well and good, but now Cato is gonna try to kill Noah and Rosalee.
That makes
he's gonna sabotage them somehow because he's like, y'all left me for dead and I made it, so now I'm coming for you.
Nah, I'm telling you, don't understand.
Go on about your life free.
I am telling you, because something will have had to happen to him. That's maybe they did catch him, maybe he broke free again. I don't know what, but he's gonna come back with a vengeance for them too.
I feel like August. I just want to know. It makes me sad that his character now is definitely in the dark side. The dark side has got him now, and I really want to see him go the other way.
Well, we shall see what happens. Let us know what you guys think. Use the hashtag. Where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at JamieBanks_. And thank you guys so much, especially those on the East Coast that stayed up to watch.
You can find me at Lina Green on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and what was that? Snapchat.
Any shout outs?
Snapchat. Oh, some shout outs. Of course, Vern.
Hey, Vern.
Hey, Vern.
He was, everything we said, he was like touching point on. He put this, make it rain. Make it rain.
And Christian, who also always hits us up. Hey, what's up to you, Christian?
And Jerica and Jessica, thanks so much for tweeting us, guys.
Yes. Where can we find you, Gary?
I am Gary Thomas on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, Facebook, all that good stuff, and I am GaryThomas.com.
And you can find me, Megan Thomas, Gary's cousin, at Megan on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, everywhere, all over the place. We love you guys. We have one more episode.
Misha shouted us out. Hey, Misha, Misha tight, y'all.
She's like, who is that?
Misha's one of the creators.
I'm talking about, she's like, who? Gary? Who? She's like, oh, my best friend.
All right, make sure you guys catch us next week. There's one more episode. We have a special guest. We can't tell you who it is. Make sure you watch. See you guys next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.